4, 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, boys, girls, and cheese bags everywhere. It's your old pal Jack, and this is Tales from the Crawl Space. And across the proverbial desk, which is technically 1/3 of the country, is Mr. Brad Harvey.
Hi, Jack.
Don't say that to me in an airplane.
That's
Get
right. Well, Lahu snack bar.
it? You're the bomb. You're the bomb.
You're the bomb.
Bomb, 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 bomb.
Oh fuck, man. But yeah, not doing too bad, man. Had a decent week. Things are picking up. Spring's here. We couldn't tell it from looking outside today. We were like rocking, high 70s, low 80s earlier in the week. I get up this morning. I walk outside to get to the truck, and ping. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. And it's just going to get worse tomorrow. It's supposed to get down into the 30s this overnight, and that sucks. And, it's Indiana. What are you going to do?
Well,
that's life as a Hoosier daddy.
I spent the past week in beautiful weather down in Jacksonville, North Carolina, near Camp Lejeune. Yeah. 140 some thousand acres of the best that America can provide of military fighting force.
Yeah,
it's an amazing place. And I tell you, the beach that's on the base, that's so awesome because there's the best shells and stuff on that beach because it's not a big traveled public beach. So
right,
that was cool.
Was that the picture you showed me? Was it that beach?
Yeah, it sure was.
Nice. Yeah, that was gorgeous. I was quite envious of you at the time.
It was 85 and gorgeous the entire time I was down there.
Man. Yeah.
Had some amazing seafood while I was down there too. Had to get some seafood while I was down there.
I learned a valuable lesson this week. Doing a liquid termite job while wearing my Duluth Trading Company fire hose pants was not a good idea.
Oh, can't
those damn things. I mean, they're thick, they're heavy, and they're perfect for when you're doing the wintertime shit and outdoors and everything. But for some reason, my stupid ass put them on that morning, and I was regretting it just several hours later. And,
you had a case of SWAS, didn't you? You got some SWAS.
I had that. Yep, I had the creature from the dank lagoon going on between my legs. And I'll tell you what, man. Those things. I may have to wear them the next week, unless the weather improves. But it's time to put the fire hose pants away and break out my Dickie 574s or whatever the fuck they're called. I wore those damn things the next day. I felt like I wasn't wearing any pants. It was awesome. But wish I would have had them on that termite job. That's for damn sure. Oh, speaking of that termite job, when I went to do the inspection in September, this is how long it took for this lady to finally, bite down on the treatment, but only because she found live termites in her garage. She's like, you know what? I better get this done. So I go, she's got a basement. It's like a partial basement and a partial crawl space. Now the crawl space is one of those where there's the ledge in the basement, and then back to, the front of the house is nothing but crawl space. The house is old as fuck. And, she's like, she was, when I first met her, how you doing? Pleasantries. And she goes, yeah, I just had knee surgery and da 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 da. I was like, yeah. So I said, and then we got down to the business part of it. I go in and get my overalls on because she says I got a crawl space in the basement. I said, say no more. Ran out the truck, slapped on the overalls, also Dickies, and went down to her basement. She's following me down there. I found a rickety workbench to climb up on. I got in the ledge, and I'm checking things out, and I'm hollering at her what I'm finding as I'm going through the crawl space. And I hear this noise. I look behind me. This woman is like fucking this woman is like in her 70s, right? And she's like in the crawl space. She's like elbows and wiggling around and shit. She's coming up. Hey, I want to see what you're talking about. I was like, lady, you got to be shitting me. And
damn, you go.
So girl. We got out there. We got once I got out of the crawl space and made sure that she was going to get out. We talked. She's a retired firefighter, extremely fit lady, and very active and stuff. But I was like, all right, man. She was having an easier time in crawl space than I was. So flash forward more months than I can imagine that she finally decided to do this job. And I'm out there. I'm digging the trench around the house, right? And she goes, this is interesting. What are you doing? And I was explaining the process because, I explained it to her in September. She's 70s. She's forgot.
Right.
And So I'm working the house, and then I don't see her for a minute, and I look over. She's got a detached garage. What's she doing? She's over there trenching the garage, right? And I'm like, she gets a few feet into it. I walk up there. I said, Kathy, you're paying me to do this. I said, as much as I appreciate this, let me handle this. And because this is a house, she doesn't even live there. She's flipping it. She's a property. She owns the property. She's either flipping it or prepping it for a new renter. But I was just like, that was the first fucking time I ever had somebody help me trench that was paying for the job. It was beautiful.
And she was fucking 70 years old.
Yeah, I had her.
Badass.
This was just an interesting job all the way around. At the side of the garage was this humongous Chinese elm tree. The thing was, you can't see it on the video. The trunk was this wide, so it's right up against the garage. So needless to say, I can't trench right there. So I'm going to angle it a little bit and stuff. And so I get to that part. I get the rod in there. I start working it, and I hear something. I look over. The tree has got a crotch. There's a low crotch in it. The fucking termiticide was percolating out of between the crotch of the tree.
What?
And so I was like, all right, I'm going into spill control mode and everything. But it was just fascinating as fuck.
Damn.
Right? It was just like, because I must have got right under those roots, and it worked its way this way, and somehow worked out. I mean, the crotch it was only about this far from the ground. And that was the damnedest fucking thing I ever saw.
That's cool as shit,
it was
man.
like shit, man. And then of course her back porch stoop was solid pour concrete all the way down. Bottom the 18-inch drill bit out, and oh god, it was interesting as hell. So what do? You go over to the side, you angle into that damn thing, and long rod it. It's like termite treatment long dick style.
I'm too tall for an 18-inch bit, man. I need the big long ones. So I gotta be able to stand up. I'd look like an old man by the end of the day if I had to scoop.
You talking about the 24-inch bits that Bill says don't exist? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They don't exist because they're expensive.
Yeah, I know, exactly. They don't exist. It's not that they don't exist. They don't exist here.
Hey, speaking of Dickies, and this is not a gross joke. I'm a big fan of Southern rock, right?
Oh, I know where you're going with this, and that was a blow.
Dickie Betts, guitars for the Allman Brothers, wrote some of the most famous Allman Brothers songs like Blue Sky.
And Jessica.
Jessica passed away yesterday. Man, that is a legend that we lost. That man is an absolute legend. I believe it's his son or grandson. I think it's the Allman Betts Band. I think the two sons are going around touring as well, and I've heard them. They're fantastic.
Well, might as well. Everybody else is dead.
Apple didn't fall far from the tree, man. I tell you.
Oh, really?
Really, they're actually really good. So
I'll have to check that out. But yeah, man, Godspeed, Dickie Betts.
Yeah, that's a goddamn shame, but I hate hearing that because I love Allman Brothers, and so.
Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird that it made me think. Made me do some looking into Dwayne Allman and everything. He was only 24 when he died.
Yeah.
That damnest thing.
And my favorite band has one of the last recordings from Greg Allman. Blackberry Smoke did a song called "Free on the Wing," and had Greg Allman on that song singing and playing guitar. One of his final recordings. Yep.
I'll be damned. Fun fact: did you know Dwayne Allman played on the record on Layla, Derek and the Dominoes?
No, I didn't know that.
He did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the recording. He didn't tour with him or anything.
Right.
But yeah, him and Eric Clapton were pretty close, and my opinion is Eric Clapton is one of the most overrated guitar players in music. But that's just my opinion. But can't say the same thing about Dwayne Allman, man. Oof.
Well, I think he's in that pantheon of amazing, he's lower on the totem pole, but of amazing British guitarists with like David Gilmour. I'm blanking on the name of the guy from Dire Straits right now.
Oh, Mark Knopfler.
Yeah, Mark Knopfler. And those guys. I mean, Clapton, obviously he plays better than I could ever fucking play guitar.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'd love to be sitting in a room with Dwayne Allman and Eric Clapton, though, just listening to them.
That ain't no shit. I'm really hoping that we've got some listeners to the podcast that are over 45 years old, so they know who the fuck we're talking about.
Well, look, if you don't know who the fuck Eric Clapton and Dickie Betts and Dwayne Allman and Greg Allman are, maybe you ought to go back and do a little Googling, and you'll find out what real fucking music's about.
You got that shit right.
There was no overproduction, no auto-tune, none of that bullshit. That was just straight up talent. So that's how it works. I see that you have quite a beautiful tumbler there that you're using.
Yes, I do. Yeah, and it just got beautifuler.
Oh, look at that! Well, I'll tell you,
I got the lid positioned perfectly, so when I drink, your smiling face shows up on there. Oh yeah,
I'm rocking with Paula.
Hi, Paula.
Mwah.
Nibble on her.
But I have
give
to say
her
that
a playful nibble.
My shirt and my hoodie from pestdesigns.com is in the washer right now. But
I wore my hoodie today.
But they don't shrink. Mine didn't shrink
last
time I wash it. No, mine did great.
I haven't washed. I don't wash my hoodies until they can stand up on their own power. But yeah, I will take your word for it. Yeah, I wore the OG Tales from the Crawl Space hoodie today at work, and got a couple people ask questions about it. One of them, I had them so interested that they went ahead and converted their one time to a quarterly contract. and stole them from Orkin. I love doing. Stole them from the Big O. I love doing that.
Well, when I first got down to Jacksonville and I was at the visitor center where I had to go get my pass to get on base, I parked right next to a pest control truck. I'm not going to say the name of the company, but I just did. figured I'd slide a business card for the podcast under the windshield wipers. So if you're down around the Jacksonville area and you found a square Tales from the Crawl Space business card, that was me. Welcome to the show.
That was Jack. Yes, welcome to the show. Hope you friggin' totally did it. Yeah, that's great.
Hell yeah. But we got some jokes tonight, man. We got some jokes.
Do.
Got some funny stories. We got a double header from Sancho.
Sancho. I can't think of that name without thinking of that song, Santeria. Tell Sanchito that if he knows what is best for him, he best go run and hide.
Daddy got a
new 45. I won't think twice to stick that arrow straight down Sancho's throat. I love that song.
Believe me when I said
I got something for his punk ass.
I really want to know. Really? Good one. I tell you what, I'm going to start off with a story. I put a post this morning on the Depot for jokes and stories, and I got a good one. Let me see what I got here. All right. And I got from Natalie Shiflett Williams. True story. About 6 months ago, got a call about a critter in the wall. Customers previously had 2 other pest control companies, a contractor, several neighbors and friends come and try to figure it out. They had cut holes in their walls and placed cameras, had recordings of the sound, all to no avail. So I started looking around. No droppings, no odor, no rub marks, no obvious points of entry. I listened to the recordings and I was stumped. It definitely sounded like something snorting, hissing, grunting. They said it was always sounded like it was behind their bathroom vanity. And as I was removing everything from the cabinets, we heard it. Just once. So I continued taking things out. The owners were carrying items into the bedroom, and the sound suddenly came from in there. After careful examination, I discovered that the culprit was, in fact, a battery-operated toothbrush that was in a travel bag. The battery was almost dead, so it was going off randomly. Thankfully, the owners were just relieved, and we all had a good laugh. They even did a big reveal video for the friends. We put the toothbrush in one of my raccoon traps and covered it with a blanket.
There you go.
I got a story like that just when JT was little. He'd have these battery-operated toys in his room, and like for a while he was like he'd go to his grandmother's with his mom, and I'd be here at the house by myself. It was nice and quiet. I'm either laying in bed, and I hear something start talking in the other room. I'm like, the fuck? It's like one of those, horror movies where the toys come alive or something. When the batteries start dying, shit just starts going off. And it fucks with you the first few times when you the hell is that?
Wow. Damn. Yeah, I had Emily, my daughter had one of those books that along the side were buttons that you could push and it would make sounds and stuff like that. And
Uh-huh.
she had one that would say, "Hey there, young fella," and it would just go on loop. "Hey there, young fella. Hey there, young fella." I don't know what the fuck it was from, but
Well, that's
"Hey
fucking
there, young
weird.
fella." It was eerie as fuck. It's like, if she was a boy, I would have been really upset. I've been going in there with a fucking gun in my hand. It's like, all right, where's the old pervert?
Oh man, have you ever had sleep paralysis? You ever had that happen to you?
Oh, where I wake up but not wake up and I couldn't move and shit.
Yeah, and you start hallucinating and shit.
No. I've never done that, but I have heard about it.
Oh, I had that happen to me for a while. They say it's stress and insomnia related if you don't get good,
Uh huh.
decent REM sleep. I woke up once and it sounded like someone was in the house, and I'm laying there on my back and I can't move at all. And it
Yeah.
sounds like they're getting closer, and I could swear someone's stomping through the house. I'm thinking, fuck, what am I going to do? I can't move. Man, I was so, it pissed me off that I was like trying to wiggle shit and finally got up out of bed and I was just running through the house screaming
Yeah.
naked that whoever that motherfucker was in the house wasn't going to make it out in the same shape they went in. I was
Yeah.
angry. But
No kidding.
but it's with the hallucinations. I mean, you think someone's in your house or in your room and you can't fucking do anything. It'll fuck you up. It's weird. It's creepy as
Hell
shit,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Creepy as shit.
Yeah, we were talking about Sancho. How about if I bring one out for Sancho? Now, we talked about, you guys, and thank you to everybody that contributed.
Oh yeah.
We appreciate both of you. And, but no, Sancho, he gave us a double header. I got one. Jack's got one. I'm going to lead off with mine. This is a practical joke. Apparently, he goes, so I was working at an auto dealership as a mechanic, and there was a dickhead salesman who got on all of our nerves. So I got 2 heavy-duty looking gas station boner pills, popped them open into his drink. Dude walked around with a boner the whole time. It was hilarious. So, wow.
Oh man.
Sancho don't play.
No, fuck no. I tell you, Sancho. If this is a throwback to one of our first episodes ever with Tales from the Crawl Space, pre-Brad Tales from the Crawl Space.
Back when the show sucked, right?
Yeah. It was bad. It was bad. That's for sure. But so Sancho lets me know. He goes, "Oh my God, I almost had a federally funded titty situation." Now, if you've probably heard us at one point in time or another say something about federally funded titties.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "A recently widowed lady I've been servicing for a year now." I bet you were servicing her, weren't you? Bow chicka wow wow. Answered the door. She must be in her 60s, dressed in shorts and a damn near see-through spaghetti string strapped shirt, and them things almost popped out. I said, "Well, damn." Did you have a lick? he goes, "Not gonna lie, no, I didn't, but she looks like Scarlett Johansson. When I was spraying the voids in the sink and cabinets, I looked over and it was straight in my line of view." So federally funded titties for the win.
That's right. Yeah. And
Sancho
attached to somebody
rides
that
again.
looked like ScarJo. All right.
I tell you show me a 60-year-old chick looks like Scarlett Johansson.
Right? They should look like a 60-year-old Scarlett Johansson.
I'd still. I mean, if it's Scarlett Johansson, there's still an aspect of that's
got a thing for ScarJo. Good man.
Yeah, it's kind of. I tell you, and if you like ScarJo, you need to watch the movie Under the Skin because I think she spends 75% of the movie fully nude.
Is that right?
Oh, it's amazing. It really is.
We'll check it out. But so practical jokes. I've got a practical joke that was played on me, and it was a long time ago, back in the Big Green Tea days. Whoa, shit! Where'd I go? My light's off. There we go. Anyway, all right, where was I? Oh yeah, Big Green Tea days. We're doing this bird job, and we were putting Hotfoot up on these ledges, and we had to go back and finish the job. Well, the customer was pissed because apparently we were putting just a little too much Hotfoot on these ledges. And birds were dropping out of the sky, right? They were all tangled up and everything. They were falling down. They're just wiggling around all sticky and shit. Well, our job was to pick those birds up and do something with them. I don't know what we're going to do with them. But
Uh-huh.
one of the technicians that I was on the job with had an idea. He was throwing them in the back of my truck. Now, Big Green Tea, we had the shells. That was during the shell time, and yeah, those suckers. I didn't know they were in there until the next day. When my whole bed of my truck is just. I was like, God damn it! And I opened it up, and yeah, there's like 7 or 8 sticky ass birds. One of them stuck to the wheel hump, and other ones are just like flopping around. I felt horrible for them, so I dispatched them. And back to this job. One of the first thing we tried was the shock wire on this. Yeah, this was a historic building. We were trying to do everything we had. The shock wire, we couldn't get it to work right. Well, it was a solar powered box, so I proceeded to set that solar powered box in his seat with bolts out. And he was in a hurry to get in his truck, apparently, and sat right on the damn thing.
Oh,
yeah, he got nailed. It was beautiful. So I was able to get his ass back, which was great. And I mean, that was a that whole damn thing was just one freaking practical joke after another. I had one technician slapped a Hillary Clinton bumper sticker right in my windshield facing in, and not to get in politics or anything, but that was. I mean, it was in my line of vision. So yeah, that was 20 minutes getting that off. And yeah, let's see. We rented a boom lift, and one of the manager trainees who's still in the business, so I won't say his name. Shit himself in the gondola that went up, and he was about 3 stories up when this event took place. So he goes down, he's getting down. His underwear ended up in the dumpster. He got back up and finished the job like a trooper. And
the pooper trooper.
The pooper trooper, exactly. Yeah, this was back in the day and age where you couldn't call it a day when you shit yourself. You scraped it out and finished the job. But and that whole damn thing was a mess. And so we ended up the job failed. We ended up refunding their money. They got those inflatable eyeballs and hung up there, and and what do you know, that worked. And so the branch manager that sold the job moved into a new house, and we had this tradition where we would flamingo the new house. And so we went to the stores, all the hardware, the home improvement stores, the department stores and everything, bought every plastic flamingo we could find. We had about 60 plastic flamingos. And we go and while he's at work, we get the address to the house from the office lady. I said, hey, so I cut off early, back of the truck filled with flamingos. And some of them were sticky because there was still residue from the fucking hot foot on there. But we go in there. I'm putting flamingos all in his front yard, all in his backyard. There's a swing set. I shoved a flamingo in his mailbox. There were flamingos in the bushes. He said 2 years later he was still finding flamingos. And but we went back to. I took pictures of all of this and made like a little album with all the pictures. And I went back to that office, and the office manager there, I went up to her and I said, is so-and-so, Marilyn was her name. So is Marilyn here? She goes, yeah, but she's in a meeting. Can I ask who's calling? I said, yeah, this is Brad from Big Green Tea. And she goes, just a second. I think they're taking a break. She walks out. I said, hey. She goes, hey, how you doing? She goes, what? She goes, what's up? I said, I showed her the album. And I said, I need you to autograph this. And so she goes, I'll be glad to do it. She put on there, how does it feel? Love, Marilyn. We gave it to him.
Man, I tell you, we did a practical joke, not as extravagant as pink flamingos, but the company I worked for at the time got, I think they're what are those? The HEPA vacs, the backpack vacuums with the hummingbirds.
Oh, the Sierra
ones. Something like that. But they came packed into styrofoam peanuts, and the company had ordered like 5 of them. Mm-hmm. So we had 5 boxes full of styrofoam peanuts, and we just filled this one dude's cab of his truck up with styrofoam peanuts before he got in. It was the lazy dude that would take like 3 hours to do one Centricon job because all the stations were so clean you could eat off of them when he was done. He was like anal. And I ended up having to let him go because, man, I'd send him out with like 10 Centricon jobs in a day. and he'd get 3 of them done. I'm like, dude, 3 in the same neighborhood in a whole day? What are you doing? But yeah, I didn't have to let him go. But my favorite prank that I always did is we had this big, huge pet store warehouse, distribution warehouse, full of pet food and full of Indian meal moths, full of them. So we used to use the PT4 allure traps.
Yeah.
And you get the lure, find it, and you pat the guy on the back. Hey, how you doing? You kind of slip it up under his collar of his shirt, the lure. And as he's walking around, he's got this cloud of horny moths following him wherever he fucking goes. Like, God damn it, what the fuck, man? Just being everywhere he went, he was like going up and down aisles to try to get him away from them. They're just fucking. Yeah. And every time we'd stop, he'd get clouded, and these fucking moths, they'd all kind of gravitate towards him.
When I first started in the business, I did a little something like that. I was curious because I had like 3 of the trap parts and then 4 of the lures. So I had an extra lure. I was like, I'm gonna open this up and see what this motherfucker's all about. So I get on there and I'm picking through it and shit. Yeah, this is really cool. Stuck in my pocket, didn't think about it. And then at the end of the day, I had to stop at a grocery store to pick up some shit my wife, wanted me to pick up. Oh yeah, man, I was getting bought. I was like, man, what the fuck's going on? I was like, oh shit, yeah. So I took it, I threw it on the floor in the grocery store. Man, they're still following me around. They're buzzing around my pocket. And I was like, man, it's some horny bastards.
Had some moth skeet in your pocket.
Yeah, I did. It's a little bit of moth poony.
Oh my God.
Yeah, sometimes the practical jokes can get a little dangerous. But not always intentionally dangerous. I mean, you go into a practical joke with all the best intentions, and sometimes it just backfires. And Amber tells us one time that one of her coworkers, James, once tried to fill her office with balloons, but didn't know she was allergic to latex.
Oh,
he could have killed me.
Holy shit.
And apparently James looks back on it fondly because he replied, fun times. And,
thanks, James.
Yeah, he goes, and she goes, she was definitely more surprised than I was, but I was pretty shocked as well. She's like, yeah, it's all fun and games till someone dies.
Well, should I tell you, before I was in pest control, I had a job where my boss was cool as hell. Great guy. And he was off on this on vacation, and it's the first one he'd taken in a long time. So we wanted to give him something nice to come back to. So I like mushed my face in all different positions on the copier and made these black and white copies of my ugly ass face, and took every box of paper clips we had in the office storage closet and chained them together and strung them all across the office with pictures of my face and various iterations with tongue hanging out, face squished up like up against the glass and shit. Yeah. And his whole office was just full of pictures of me. Nice. He got in the morning when he finally got back. He's like, what the hell happened here? Oh man. I don't know, one of those harmless pranks. So,
Yeah.
It's the shot that could have killed him, but
Oh, hell yeah. I had a salesman. I was a service manager, again, for the Big Green Tea over in another office. And one of the salesmen found out that his wife went to the same high school I did at the same time and happened to have a yearbook. And unfortunately, the yearbook contained my senior picture. And unfortunately, the senior picture, don't judge, I had a perm. Yeah, I had the Greg Brady perm. Yeah.
Oh, and boy.
I came into the office one morning to about 50 or 60 of those pictures, my senior pictures of me looking like Bozo the fucking Brady clown. And so that was interesting.
We're going to need to see that now. We're going to need you to find that yearbook, take a picture, and post it. We need to see that. That's going to happen
I don't have the yearbook anymore. Because I be honest with you, I never did get a senior yearbook, but I know I've got a senior picture somewhere around here.
Yeah, we have to see.
I'm not vain enough to not show it, but yeah, I'll dig it up and we'll get it on here.
Believe me, I've got some goofy ass because I was a beanpole until I was 22, so I got some goofy ass fucking military school pictures, me in my uniform. Yeah. Oh hey. Tater had a good gotcha moment story. I want to share.
Right?
Oh yeah, it's a Tater chimed in.
The one and only, it's a Tater.
We love you, Tater. He goes, this past Sunday, I got invited to a concert. I go to the I go to this venue frequently because I'm friends with the manager and tip all the waitresses very well. Imagine my surprise when I see a former client in the bottle service section. This client ghosted me on owing a pretty chunk of change for a service I did late last year. She remembered who I was and immediately started being friendly, trying to say things like, "We should do shots," or "Let's get a bottle of champagne." I was polite and obliged. All the while, I made sure my waitress knew that whatever she was having us order was going on her tab and not mine. Prior to the concert ending, I found my manager buddy and asked if I could use his office. So I printed out my old invoice, folded it up, and gave it to her waitress to give to her when she closed out. The look of absolute stun on her face when she realized the overpriced drink she tried to con out of me was actually on her tab next to the invoice that she still owes me was worth not ever getting paid before, having to void the invoice in order to close my books for tax season. Win or lose,
Nice.
Win or lose, I stand on business.
Jesus Christ.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. That sounds tater.
What you drinking there, buddy?
Oh, buddy. I don't know if I told you. I'm drinking Bumbu tonight. I'm giving the bourbon a break for the week. And I'll tell you what, I mean, this stuff is awesome. Just neat. Neat. Maybe an ice cube or something. I'm going to plug my earphones back in. But I tried it, because I used to love a rum and Coke in my younger, more reckless days. And I'm doing a rum and Coke with this. It is the best damn tasting rum and Coke I ever had. And it is.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's like drinking juicy fruit gum. Oh man, I don't know what it is. It's
good shit, man. It is really good shit.
It is. It's got such a fruity note to it, and yeah. So, and of course I am. Of course I am drinking it from my Tony Spangler tumbler, and
from SpanglerArt.com.
From SpanglerArt.com, absolutely. And of course, every Spangler tumbler comes with the Jack's favorite part of it, the rubber bottom.
Rubber bottom.
And my favorite part of it, the surgical stainless steel. We don't want these rusting when they're up there. Your urethral sounding rod. It's hollow.
Good for your penis.
That's right. You could do things with it. And I see Tony has offered an extra feature on some of the newer ones. And he still have the same stainless steel quality on there, but he's put a little bend on them there so you don't lose them anymore. Sometimes they get you get a little too into the moment, and it's like, next thing you know, you're in the emergency room. They got tiny little tweezers and forceps up there trying to get it out there. With one of these puppies, you don't have to worry about that because it's going to stop right there. You got a good handle. You can just right at the appropriate moment, and you're going to love them. As always, Tony does a hellacious job with the quality of his product.
Oh my God,
the text, the graphics on them are crystal clear. And they even make Jack look good. I mean, check this dude out. I mean, you can't be beat. Yeah, I'm still ugly as fuck, but man, look at that. and the best part of it is he gave us a little salute right there. PCHD, Pest Control Humor Depot, my favorite group. They're all fine tumblers, but none compares to this one. That's right.
Yes, Paula.
Yes.
But you do realize,
First Lady of Pest Control Humor Depot.
You do realize the straw having the bend in it that not Paula. Sorry, I got Paula in the brain because you showed me Paula. Candace, get ready. You do realize that some people's penises have a bend in them, so it's for comfort as well. If your penis has a bend in it, that little straw will fit right up in that bend perfectly. Because you don't want a straight one that's kind of taking the bend out of your penis.
Yeah. Well, no, that's for penis trainers. You put the straight one in, get that kink out of it.
I'm gonna train as my penis. That's
man, that's good. Jesus God, man, that's it. I'm gonna get in serious trouble with that stuff tonight.
It's Friday night, so fuck them. That's how
absolutely.
It works.
Yeah.
Now, we've dealt with, all kinds of customers making stupid comments and shit. And I have to say, and I think everybody will agree, when you walk in, we get your B&G in one hand, your service kit in the other, and someone goes, "Hey, you got anything for that over there?" and points at his wife or points at his kid or something. You're like, yeah, I don't know about that. I always say, well, it's not labeled for it, but for the right amount of money, we can talk. You know, that's my response all the time. But
Yeah. And people, you go into like factories and stuff, all the men, and it's like, hey, you got anything for crabs? I'd be like, no. Why don't you try stabbing them with an ice pick?
I mean, I've had, to that note, working for the second largest school system in the country, I actually had teachers saying, can you show up here tomorrow during the school day? I've had some kids with lice. I'm like, what do you want me to do about it? What do you want me to do about it? I can't do a fucking thing about it. I'm not spraying the kids.
Thanks for the warning, though. Appreciate the heads up on that.
Certainly not spraying the kids.
Go home, fucking lather up with Quell lotion and shit. Oh God, fucking lice. That just perished the thought. I had one factory I went into. I went in and he goes, pointed at my sprayer. You got biscuits and gravy in there? I said, I didn't get it. It's like biscuits and gravy. I was like, yeah, It says on the tank B and G. I'm like, are you shitting me? I was like, fuck man, I've been doing this for years. It's like, well, that does stand for biscuits and gravy. Yeah.
See where his mind was at.
Oh hell yeah, it's on biscuits and gravy. I'm a man after my own heart.
He must have skipped breakfast or something.
Here, there, it's a hobbit ready for second breakfast.
And 11sies.
11sies, that's right.
That's right. Get second breakfast in 11sies. Oh God!
We're gonna have to do another. The ones that always spray him. That's always a good one.
Yeah, and you just kind of
and everybody, if somebody's got a rodent or something, it's like, yeah, we got Willard here. If it's a rat problem, it's like, oh, you've named him Willard. How horribly original. You are so clever.
Like, you named him. I can't kill him now. So sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
If you named him, I can't do anything about it. I mean, it's inhumane. If you give him a name, he's actually got a life and little kids and everything. What am I supposed to do about it? Really?
Good.
How am I supposed to do?
That's right. It would be on your conscience forever, Jack.
Of course.
No, I mean, of course. I mean, we are human. We cut us, we bleed. Wrong us, we revenge.
Case in point, the end of my street, there's a field, and they have cows at the end of the field. I live out in the country, and I live on dead end street. At the end of the dead end street's a small little farmette type thing, and they got 3 cows back there. And my neighbor, who used to live a couple houses before the farm, was charged with taking care of the cows. Because the lady lives there, it's older, and she paid him to look after the cows. And he'd take his 2 daughters over there, but he absolutely would not allow his daughters to name the cows. Because he'd have to eventually load them up and take them to slaughter.
That's right.
And the kids would go nuts. Oh my God, you can't do that to Bessie. But yeah, you can't name them. You can't kill them if you name them.
Well, not necessarily, Jack. I mean, if the kid, if a good parent would say you can name the cow, but under one condition, you must name the cow someone that you cannot stand at school.
Oh, that works.
So when you go run them off the slaughter, it's all right. Good, Scott's gone. It's like
that's how psycho killers are born, isn't it?
Well, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, we need we need people like that so we can point at them and say, "There's the bad guy."
So you said so. Jeffrey Dahmer's like, "Oh, your name's Daryl. I'm gonna cook you up and eat you."
After I do incredibly revolting things to your head.
Oh my God! Have you seen those photos from Jeffrey Dahmer's the crime scene photos? Holy shit!
And I am ashamed to say that, but yes, I have. Ed Gein's is pretty bad too.
Yeah, no, they are.
But they were in black and white, so it kind of negated a lot of it. But no, Jeffrey.
This was like a fridge that had a fridge that had the head, hands, and a penis all right there on the shelf. It's like What do I want to eat today? A little bit of head cheese, some dick meat,
Dick
some
meat.
some fried fingers. I don't know. What am I feeling like today? I'm feeling a little. I'm a mite peckish. Just a mite peckish.
It might taste a slight peckish. But yeah, we've all been to these conferences and shit, where where the 3 hour long infomercials with stale donuts in the middle of it. Yeah, and we've got a BASF rep that has been telling the same damn joke every year for God. He's been rocking this for about 20 years, and it's all the same thing. And I'm going to tell the joke, and I'll probably say the majority of you guys out there know who I'm talking about. And he goes, two termites walk into a bar. One of the termites says to the bartender, "Hey, is the bartender here?"
I get it. It just hit me.
Yeah.
It was delayed reaction, but I get it.
Here, yeah.
And
I totally mangled it, but it's just as bad when it's said correctly.
that rings a bell, though. Is that the rep that looks a little bit like Donald Sutherland? Is that who that is?
No, I don't think he looks like Donald Sutherland.
Because there's a BS, I think it's BASF or Bear rep that goes up and down the East Coast. Kind of looks like Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, this is more of a Midwest guy. He doesn't look like Donald Sutherland. But yeah, every year it's the same thing. He used to work for Whitmire, and then when Whitmire got snatched up by BASF, I guess he joined that. But anyway, yes, BASF.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Well, hell, I mean, I'm out of jokes. We didn't get the kind of response that I was hoping to get, which kind of sucks balls. We're the fucking people.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. Okay, a priest was late to a meeting with one of the parishioners, and he comes into the office. The parishioner's already sitting there, and it's like, "Father, everything okay?" He goes, "Yes, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm glad you found your way into my office." He goes, "But I ride a bike everywhere, and somebody stole my bike." And the parishioner goes, "Well, Father, how about in Mass next Sunday you cover the 10 Commandments and use special emphasis on Thou shalt not steal in your message." And he goes, "Thou shalt not steal. That's not a bad idea." So he goes, "All right, I'll do that. We'll cover the 10 Commandments, next Mass." And then, so he meets with a couple weeks later. He meets with the parishioner again. This time he's on time, and he goes. The parishioner's like, "Well, how'd it go?" He goes, "Yeah, we did you saw we did the 10 Commandments." He goes, "I got my bike back." He goes, "Was it the Thou shalt not steal?" The priest goes, "No, it was the part where I went to Thou shalt not commit adultery, and I remember where I left my bike."
Oh, hey, did you know that Facebook Messenger now has an AI thing at the very top? You can actually ask the AI in Facebook Messenger.
Oh, no.
Because I found that out this morning. It's the Meta AI, and I've been asking it to do stupid shit. Matter of fact, I sent you the message this morning about I had it research the podcast and tell us what it thought of the podcast, which I thought was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. But I just asked it, I said, "Tell me a humorous bedbug story." So I'm reading this for the first time.
Okay.
One night, a man was sleeping when he felt something crawling on his bed. He looked down and saw a bedbug. The man was so surprised that he jumped out of bed, ran out of the room, still in his underwear. He didn't stop running until he was in the kitchen where he saw his wife making breakfast. Out of breath, he exclaimed, "There's a bedbug in our bed." His wife calmly replied, "Well, that's what you get for bringing home a cheap date." That was AI. That was AI's bedbug joke.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right, Jack.
Time here. What the fuck?
Yeah, I get you. But two firemen were BFing in a smoke-filled room, right?
Okay.
Another fireman walks in. Another fireman walks in and sees the two of them going at it. He goes, "What the hell's going on here?" The guy in back goes, "I'm treating this one for smoke inhalation." The guy says, "Well, why didn't you try mouth to mouth?" He goes, "I did. This is what it led to."
Oh my God. Now, see, I know one of those firemen because he was the
Yeah,
one that tried to grab my ass as I was going up into the attic.
that's right. I remember that.
I just told him, "Let me fall. Just let me fall."
Yeah, just let me fall.
That's the difference between a lawsuit and workers' comp.
Yeah. You know what the difference is between a cook and a chef?
What?
A chef sneezes away from the grill.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
See, this is what you guys get for not giving us jokes to tell.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you
Yeah.
what. Instead of the bad jokes, I mean this one might run a little short, but I do want to put this out there. We want to do another international episode.
Yes.
We definitely want to get Mario and Dave Lyon on from last time, but we also want to get someone from Europe, Germany, France, Switzerland, Netherlands, United Kingdom, Scotland, Ireland, somewhere in that general ballpark, Spain, whatever.
Yeah. We'll settle for Canada.
Yeah, Canada. Yeah, that's like Diet America, but that's cool.
Damn.
Just put down your loonies and toonies and go get a Tim Hortons and get on the show with us. But if you want to be on
Tims,
the,
man.
oh yeah, I do like their coffee is fucking amazing. So,
Yep.
but grab your poutine and let us know if you want to be on the show. If you do, we'll do a little pre-screening thing and talk to you and see if how comfortable you are and make sure your setup's good. But if you want to be on the show and you're in another country other than the good old United States, God bless America.
That's right.
We'd love to get you on the show. We would.
Absolutely. And yeah. So definitely Mario, Dave, definitely. You guys are. I'd like to have you guys back. It's been a while since we talked to you. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah. Oh, and just a little plug for Dave Lyon. He has this little side business called Crab Smasher Dice and Resin. And he made an awesome set of dice for JT last Christmas that are clear resin, but had like different insects and stuff in each of the dice. And he did videos on how he made them, and they were cool as hell. They were fantastic. JT loves them. He loves collecting all different kinds of dice, like for D&D and stuff like that. So he added these to his collection, and he loves them. I always catch him looking at them and stuff because they're just cool as shit. Like a big old hornet, and one like the 20-sided die has a hornet in them. And like a big-headed ant and shit. It was really cool. So Crab Smasher Dice and Resin, I believe he's on YouTube and TikTok.
And if you still want to rock some Pest Control Humor Depot or Tales from the Crawl Space rags, Pest Designs, it's a place to go.
Yes, it is.
Troy's got some really awesome designs out there. Of course, there is the one and only strangling a rat, glove up cheese bags pattern. He's got some 1125 stuff. He's got a lot of stuff, and also Tales from the Crawl Space. He's got hoodies. He's got t-shirts. He's got stickers. He's got everything. He's got everything but jokes because he didn't contribute anything to the show today, other than the fine products that he's got. So, pestdesigns.com. He's around. Look at him. Look for him on the depot, and check him out. I mean, there's some good stuff out there.
I started that contest for Tales from the Crawl Space where people would take a picture of themselves with either merch or something that they made that said Tales from the Crawl Space and PCHD on it. Nobody submitted anything. So I guess I'm just going to wear that fucking hoodie myself,
Yeah, buy some merch and get on there, If you're the only one and we do the drawing, you're going to win. So, your odds are pretty good.
Yeah. Haven't got any entries yet, so if you get one in, there's a good chance you'll be the only name in the hat when we draw it. So
that's true.
It's a distinct possibility.
Exactly. So stinging insects. It's getting to be wasps are starting to wake up. I've already been on a couple of calls for them as well, and so I know y'all got stories on that. Let's hear them, and we'll get them on the air. And I've got a few of my own. I know Jack does.
Oh, yeah, it's my favorite jobs. I love those. Those are the best.
Yeah. We're also going to be looking at a couple of other episode topics as well. Definitely the international episode. We've got a couple good ones coming up. Pussy customers. You guys got. I know you guys got some stories about customers that they scream at it. They see an ant and they scream. grown men bulked up and everything, jumping up on tables when a mouse walks by,
Oh
shit like
yeah.
that. And that stuff is gold, and we'd love to hear it, and we'd love to tell everybody about it. So, bring us, I mean, start now. I mean, we won't get it on next week's episode because it's not going to be about pussy customers. But if you got a story and you want to tell it, just go ahead and give it to us. We'll put it in the spank bank and air it when the episode pops up.
You mean I have to take some stuff out of my spank bank to make room for this?
Yeah.
Really? Come on, man.
You can always put it back.
That's what I'm saying, man. Why would I want to? Come on. I mean, mine's full to the brim now as it is.
Look at you. Yeah. You need to make more withdrawals out of it is the problem.
Oh, I'm making deposits, but
yeah, yours is your account at the spank bank's a savings. Mine's checking.
I think I might have to write a couple checks when I get off the show tonight.
That's right. Make a couple bank drafts.
That poor sock. I need to throw it in the wash. It keeps running away from me. Keeps running away.
Oh man. It started crying the other day.
Well, I don't know. We're going to have to cut this one short because we're running out of things. You want to hear us mumbling in dead air all the time, but we got the stinging insect episode coming. We got the pussy episode coming, and we're also looking for people for the international episode. I want to thank Jacqueline, Madeline, and Jenny for last week's show. That was a great show. I really enjoyed that. And thank you, three ladies, again. Yes. I mean, I've listened to that a few times. It's such a good show.
Yeah, I want to put a special shout out to women, the group Women in Pest Control LLC, for allowing us to have content on their Facebook group and get the word out about the podcast. And so it's, we're here. We're we may not be here for a long time, but damn it, we're here for a good time, and we'd like everybody to listen. And so hats off to them for allowing our some plugs on their group.
Definitely, and that conference they held down in Texas, I believe, did a lot of good things for a lot of people, and I think that was a great thing they did. And I'm glad they put us on. I'm glad they let us put our show on their page. So thank you all very much, ladies. It's much appreciated.
And really glad for Jackie to be wearing that T-shirt too, or that hoodie.
Yeah, we made it into this month's episode.
We did. Yes, we're officially women.
Well, I'm an ugly woman. I mean, I'm the bearded lady from the old side shows. That's what I am.
There you go.
The bearded lady.
Yeah.
My light's starting to fade.
It is. Wow.
It's getting a little dark out here.
You're getting a little dim there, Jack.
I am. But, I'm always kind of dim. But
the color's fading. You look like a black and white image you look like one of those pictures on the wall in a Harry Potter movie.
Oh man, I tell you, I went to Orlando to Universal Studios, and as you're waiting in line to get on this virtual ride they have for Harry Potter, all the paintings on the walls are all like looking at you and talking to you and shit. It was actually really cool.
Oh wow, no kidding.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Those virtual rides make me barf though. I had to I had to just about feed the bushes right outside the ride when I got off. I can't do those things anymore. I'm too old. I used to be able to ride all that shit and feel like $1 million.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I'm hungover when I get off of them.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna barf. It's nasty.
Oh great, man. Okay.
Well,
so,
Brad, about time for us to get out of here, I guess. Because
I think you're right. So yeah, thanks again for listening to what we had. We're only about 7 minutes light today, but on behalf of Pest Control Humor Depot, my favorite group, on behalf of Spangler Art, on behalf of Pest Designs, and of course the one and only Tales from the Crawl Space podcast, Jack and I cordially invite you to bugger the hell off.
Bug off.